Hey friends, Happy New Year. Hope everyone's having a great 2023. We haven't had any like nuclear blasts or meteor showers or anything like that. So I think so far the year has been somewhat good. I had a funny joke with my friend. I'm like, God, I just pray that this year is super boring and that nothing major happens. Because over the past several years, we've just had huge event after event after event. It's been like debilitating in some ways and mentally draining. So that's a good thing. I hope you guys are doing well. And 6 days ago, I made a video talking about 2022 and reviewing that. And I said that I would make 2023 goal video, but I'm not gonna state my very like specific kind of goals that I have, because like I mentioned, if you overly state your goals and you tell everyone about them, then you're more likely not to actually get them done, because you're mentally tricking your brain into thinking you accomplished something. So for instance, I have goals like, okay, I want to reach this certain amount of revenue. I want to reach this certain amount of followers on my social media accounts, and other goals like that. And I'm not going to like state all that in specifics, but what I am going to do is state more general goals that I have that I'm going to be implementing in specific ways. But I also think these will be very helpful for you guys to have as goals. And you can list down below, like if you write one of these down, you can list down below exactly what that means to you in your specific business or clothing brand. And I think you guys will get a lot of value out of this. So the three kind of big goals that I have for this year, not including just specific metric goals, is to strategize more, to be more structured in my business and in my day, and to be more creative as a brand going forward into 2023 and beyond. So the first one I have is strategize more. So I've done a video about how to strategize, brainstorming, stuff like that, just writing down a bunch of ideas on whiteboards. On the back of this whiteboard, it's just completely filled with a bunch of writing of like a past strategy session that I had. And the last time I did that, I got tons of value out of it. And I kind of had a better head on my shoulders after that about what to do exactly. So I'm going to do that again for this year and kind of flesh out all of these goals much more specifically and exactly how to do them, stuff like that. So one of the things that I want to strategize more is my money. Oh, I think this pen is running out. We're off to a bad start. This one's probably out too. I haven't used, there we go. Maybe this one will work. So I want to strategize the way I use my money better. I have a general idea of like my bills, and they're all, set on auto pay and stuff like that on a credit card. And I have a general rule of thumb of how much inventory that I'm getting every month, so I don't like lock up all my money, but I still have enough for people to purchase and for the stuff to cycle through and cash flow and all that kind of stuff. But there are quite a bit of things that are not like really defined in my personal spending and business spending. So I really want to get that like honed down and really written out exactly how much I have, exactly how much everything costs, and then how much money I have to play with. That's really what I'm trying to figure out, with how much money do I realistically have every month where I can invest that into certain things that will help my brand grow. And one of those things, and another thing I'm trying to strategize with, and that relates to money, is to outsource more work. What that means for me, maybe for you, is to basically contract more work out. Maybe I want to have Michael here more as much as I can. Maybe contract some art out if I'm doing a very specific kind of design, or I don't have time to do that. I like to do all of the designs within my brand because I'm naturally a creative person. I went to school for graphic design, stuff like that. But there probably is and will be situations where the artwork is like above my my skill level, or I'm looking for a specific thing. So that could be a way to do it. Basically, I have to have money set aside where I know I could pay for X amount of hours or something like that, or for this service like a video, or for this artwork. So once I know, once my money is very dialed in and I know how much money I have to play with, I can divert that into getting tasks off of my shoulders, because as a one, basically like 90% of the brand is just me running it. That is very mentally and physically draining, having to wear all the hats and doing everything. As the brand has been growing, my hours have been growing as well. I've been working here like 10, 12-hour days a lot of times. In the past, I'd obviously work less because it wasn't as demanding. So I really want to get the lower value tasks, or tasks that I could easily contract out to other people. I want to get those and get people to do that. And I want to focus on what I'm good at and what I want to be doing in the brand, which is obviously like creative work and planning, organizing, creating systems. I'm better at that kind of stuff. And like, you know, obviously doing stuff like the YouTube channel, for instance, it can't really exist without me making the videos and talking to you guys, right? But I can contract work out to maybe edit stuff, make the thumbnails for the slides on YouTube so people can see that, to upload and post stuff, edit stuff like that. So that's like a way that I could offload a bunch of work, make the content better, which can in turn generate more revenue, because you can obviously generate revenue on YouTube, or you're getting traffic to your website. One of the things that I noticed, which is really cool, is that there's a significant amount of people that are dropping onto my website from YouTube. I don't know if people are doing that solely to just check out what exactly my website looks like, or if they're actually like becoming a customer, but that is a good thing to get more eyes and more traffic onto your page. And you know, that's one other thing. Another strategy thing that I could do is better ads and marketing. Getting that strategized is super important, because that's essentially the way your brand will grow. If you do not advertise or market your brand, people won't see it, and then it's not going to grow, and then you're not going to be meeting your goals that you have for growth and revenue and for just being a fun creative brand, right? You need to be growing your audience and scaling that as you grow your brand. And the way you do that is you strategize how to do that. So I have ads that have been running for a long time, some of them a year or two, because they work so well and they do the job, they pay themselves off, and there's a lot of people coming to my page and my website and following me and generating sales. But I want to not just rely on that, because that is obviously temporary. You can't have an ad that's running for 100 years or something like that, you know, for a decade, because things change, trends change, apps die off and go, stuff like that happens. So you want to make sure that you're building a hedge of protection in whatever you're doing, whatever area, whether that be marketing, whether that be products, your audience. Always be the thing that works, that's going well for your brand. Keep doing that and keep scaling that, but also put a little bit of effort on the side into other little avenues and things, so you're building a hedge of protection around your brand. This is actually a concept that is well versed in business circles. It's called hedge of protection for your brand, like a moat around your castle, your brand. And I will make a whole video about that. That's a whole bigger topic. That's something I want to talk to you guys about. But yeah, that's something that I want to do. And then the thing that I want to do next, and this can go on, but these are just some of the things that I want to do, and I have more and more things to add to that. But the next thing I want to do is structure more. So what I mean by that is basically plan my day better. I really had this down in the years of 2020 and probably part of 2021. The reason why is because that's when I made a lot of radical changes in my brand and business. I had a full-time job, and I had the guy that I was working for, obviously he was a mentor to me. So I had tons of inspiration, and like I would see the way that he ran his business stuff daily, and that like boosted me a lot. So I had like everything super organized. I was doing radical changes. I was getting rid of things. I was adding things in my life. I was like very on the dot about things. I remember I even had the timer on my phone that went off on certain times. So like when to do stuff, when to start stuff. That's a little bit extreme. It doesn't work for everyone, but it did help me kind of get into a rhythm before I got off of that. But I kind of want to get back into doing that. I fell off of that a little bit because obviously I had like health issues and stuff, and that totally is, if that ever happens to you, that just throws off the day, even like mentally and stuff like that. And then obviously this year, or last year, halfway through, I transitioned into this full time. So that was kind of all a transitory year. But this year, since I kind of know like what I'm doing and how I have a very good vibe of how my day works now, I can hone it down and really get down to the details exactly what I need to do and how to plan my day better. And that stuff is as simple as being here on time. I think that is a very critical thing that you as a business owner need to develop, is to have a time habit where you're at your office or your warehouse or your workspace or your bedroom, wherever you're working on your brand and business. Make sure you're there at a certain time, because what will happen is if you're lazy and you're not like doing that at a certain time, like you have to treat your business like it's a real business. And if you have an LLC and all that kind of stuff, obviously it is a real business. You're paying taxes, all that kind of stuff. If you don't treat it like it's a real business and like you have customers and all that kind of stuff, you're gonna really fall off and stumble. I've seen this happen with people I've worked for or have made stuff for me in the past, like production people that are printing stuff. They don't come in on time. They don't leave at a certain time. So they're unpredictable. You know, they have like ups and downs like that. You don't want that in your business. You want a steady flow of work and growth in your business. Having like tremendous ups and downs is really disorganized, and it's going to throw you off as a business owner and as a business, because you're not going to be fulfilling certain expectations from your customers, right? And that's totally bad. Now, and then, you know, obviously, you know, like I said, coming here on time, that's an important thing. I do come here at a general time, but some days I might be here at like 7:30. Some days I might be here at 6:30, like crazy early. I want to make sure I'm here at a certain time. Even the reason why I wake up early, there's many reasons, but one of them is there's just less buzz, less traffic, less problems in the morning. It's really great. When you wake up, you see just a gorgeous sunrise. There's no cars on the road. I go to the gym, there's hardly anyone there. Like no one's even used the shower in the morning, so it's clean for me to use. Like there's little cool stuff like that happens. Like I said, there's no traffic, so I'm not like piling up behind cars and stuff to get here, and that kind of like you're not starting off your day right, you know what I mean? It's just quieter, and you can be much more focused in the morning, early in the morning, rather than, you know, later in the day, stuff like that. Some people might kind of be more attuned to that chaotic energy, and they might like, you know, going to the gym later in the day or working on their business late at night. That's up to you, and if that really works for you, then go for it. But I think in general, and as you grow as a person, as a business, you're gonna realize that early in the morning is really great and it feels good. It takes a while to get there. I can make a video about that too as well. That would be something that would be very interesting, I think, for some people. But yeah, I want to, you know, be here on time and do certain things on time. One of the things that might be a little bit challenging for me is I have a weird way of my creativity flow. So when I'm in the zone, when I'm creating something, I will not get out of that, because it's rare to get into that hyper focused zone where you're just like on a roll creating stuff like a graphic. And the reason why you don't want to get out of that zone is because you're literally making a revenue generating thing for your brand. If you make a super popular design that's going to go on t-shirts and hoodies, make sure you're protecting that time that you're making that, because that's going to generate you a bunch of income, and that's important. Like, obviously there's designs I've made that have generated thousands of sales, tens of thousands of dollars of revenue, and I would not have a lot of things in the business without those specific designs that I was obviously in the zone to create those. So that's like a sacred time. Now, the way I would that stuff for me is a little bit chaotic, and the reason why it is because, let's say I'm on the computer, I see a really cool like vintage design, news article, photograph, something like that, and then it starts getting my creative juices flowing, and then I open Adobe Illustrator, I start plopping in some text and some images and stuff like that, I play around with it. That's kind of how I start designing stuff, and it's a little chaotic because it randomly happens, because I do a tremendous amount of research, obviously for like the historical learning side of my brand, but also when I'm creating designs, I'm using source material, right? And that really spins off into doing a bunch of creative work. So in order for me to have that time set aside, what I got to do is kind of plan my workflow. So that means that there's certain tasks in the day that need to be done first, and then I will set aside time where I could be creative, and that will be a free-flowing time, although it will be kind of in a bubble of time periods. So for instance, the first things I need to get done: catch up on emails, DMs, pack orders, generally kind of clean the office, make it 3S, sweep, sort, standardize, get that all in order. Because for me, at least, if you're working in a chaotic environment, you're just not going to be working as well. You're going to be tripping over things, and it's not going to be efficient. I have that kind of stuff to do. Post on social media, and that needs to be done daily because you get more eyes and you grow, stuff like that. So there are certain tasks, maintenance tasks, that need to be done right away to begin the day. Another one would be like paying bills. I pay my credit card bills and stuff every single day, and I obviously work on that, not to get behind on that. But after I do that, then I could definitely have a time that's stamped in stone, basically, for my schedule. It says, okay, this is my creative time, and I have 2, 3, 4 hours that's allotted to that once I figure that out. And in that period of time, I could be free flowing. I could, let's say that I'm spending 30 minutes at that time reading an article, because even reading a book or an article or watching a short clip from a movie or from a documentary, that actually generates creative flow in my brain. And also even I get content from that to post onto my page, stuff like that, mood board ideas. So that's like a free flowing kind of thing. And that's, part of my workflow. Now, the other thing I have for the structuring is to plan production. I have done this in the past, and this is kind of critical for running a brand and a business. But like I said, because of the way my brain works and the creativity, sometimes it's just very off the cuff, and things happen. Like for the past, like last year, I would just basically have a very free-flowing kind of schedule, and I would release new designs and ideas as they would happen. Typically, I try to release one new design a month, and then I restock old items or old designs, but in new colorways and styles, like instead of a t-shirt, I would do a crew neck or something like that. So that's kind of what I do, and it was always free-flowing. But I really want to, this year, have things more structured, like I'm saying, and have better production schedules. So with the production schedule, it's a little bit easier for me, and it was last year. I could have like less structure, but I didn't do that, because if I'm making hats, t-shirts, hoodies, if you're making that, let's just say you live in the United States and you're making that domestically here, Oftentimes, the places that are making that for you, the screen printers, embroidery places, they have a turnaround time of 2 to 4 weeks. That's what I've experienced, at least. I don't know. It might be more for you. It might be less. Some places are really able to turn stuff fast because they might have bigger facility. They might be smaller and they might not have as many clients. So if you're in that zone, you're lucky if you get it really fast. But that's generally what happens. So. But the one thing I struggled with last year, and I want to say my struggle so that you guys will learn and then I will learn for this year, is that I would oftentimes scramble to, send out files for production. It would be like past the first week of the month, and then it's already going to the second week, and then I'd be sending out files. But what that means, if I do that, is that the company might not get stuff done until the very, very end of the month or the first week of the next month, which means that the drop schedule is already off. And that does not work for what I'm trying to accomplish. In my brand, I do a drop every month, but I want stuff to be shipped out as soon as people buy it. I have a shipping time, a lead time of like 12 hours. So if you buy something, it's going to get shipped out within like 12 to 24 hours right now. So basically same day shipping, unless you like order on the weekends, because I only ship one day out of that. But that is something that I'm really trying to get down this year. Obviously I got some of that down last year because I switched to doing this full time. So I'm present and the post office is basically next door to where I'm at. So that was easier. But like I said, because I was not as structured and I didn't have my production schedule planned out as well, I would get stuff turned in late, which means I wouldn't get them in. Then people would have to wait. Once you have that wait time, you have people emailing you. Even this very last drop in December of 2022, this happened. Although it is my fault in terms of I'm the business owner, and you have to take as much fault as possible. If you have that mindset, you're going to succeed better. Don't be blaming stuff. So I did send out files earlier this time, but only one of because I work with two companies, only one of them got stuff out in time as usual. The other one, unfortunately, they're still behind on stuff, and they always had a turnaround time of about 3 weeks, and this time they're going on to like 5 weeks now. So that's not good. So that's, you could say it's on them, but really it's on me, because I should have turned in those files even earlier, because sometimes they're not on schedule and stuff like that, which has been a pain in the butt. So knowing that, even if they do great work, I have to realize that, okay, I have to turn stuff in later. But the only way that will happen is if I have a good schedule. So calendar plus planner, that is the way that you will get your day structured more and your workflow and all that. Now, I mentioned turnaround times in here. If you are getting stuff made overseas, turnaround times are much slower and not as fast, and there is a lot of variables to juggle with that. So even this morning, I just purchased some samples overseas for some new products I'm making. I'm not gonna say what they are because they're really cool, and hopefully all that turns out well. But I just purchased some, but I realized in my head that what I'm doing with that is that's months out. So the designs I'm making right now, and I'm getting slowly working into the production schedule, those designs are going to be released maybe in March, April. But what that has to do with being more creative is that I'm going to have a broader range of products. Broader range products. Last year, I don't think I really made anything more than just the basic stuff that I've been successful at, just hats, hoodies, t-shirts, that kind of stuff. In 2021 and 2020, I had more fun doing that kind of stuff. I made, bags, keychains, all sorts of different kind of stuff. This year, I want to, because 2022 was kind of like a break from that. It was a little bit easier for me to just do the basic stuff, and then it's made here, it's a little bit less stressful. But I want to make a broader range of products, but that requires obviously planning. So these two are interconnected in a way. And that helps because that is also a hedge of protection. So that's kind of linked to this. The reason why is because if you're constantly doing the same thing, your brand can get a little stale, right? You want to be always pushing the envelope, doing new things, doing creative things, doing different things. And that is why this is such a key thing for me this year, is that in the back of my mind, I know that if I'm not innovating, I'm not like pushing the envelope, then my brand can become stale and it can start to slowly die and be less fun, I guess, in a way. And that's something that you guys want to avoid. You want to be fun. Right? I assume that a lot of you guys here are having your streetwear brand, clothing brand, stuff like that. So that is like a very critical thing in running a brand. You wanna be innovative, creative, fun, cool design, stuff like that, because that's really like the heart and soul of your brand, and that's why people want to be a part of the community, right? If your brand was just like very general, not unique, not specific, it would be boring and people would not want to be in it, right? Now, like you could just do very basic stuff, like people do that, I do that, it's successful, just t-shirts, hoodies, sweatpants, that kind of stuff. And you can just have really crazy cool graphics, and that's kind of like the creativity side of it. That's totally fine. But for me, I want to expand the product range, and that would be like doing stuff like more beanies, socks, pants, like a jacket, like cargo pants, tactical things, stuff like that. I want to do that because it puts more creativity in my brand, and it's also a hedge of protection in a way. Like I said, because it's keeping the brand alive, fresh, and not stale. Another thing for being more creative is to be more open to others. Last year, I would have people reach out and they would either want to collaborate or even just they wanted to give me a call on the phone. They wanted to interview me. They wanted me to be in like a magazine, like for their school or stuff like that. And I would always just decline. And I'm like that in a lot of ways because I'm kind of anti-social in a way. I'm more introverted, which is kind of funny because considering I make YouTube videos, I have like a weird duality in my life in a way. And then just last year, I just did not want to deal with anyone. I just shut everything out. But this year, I'm kind of wanting to push the envelope a little bit, be more open to people that reach out to me. And let's say like another brand reaches out to me and they are very in line with what I'm doing. Like that could be a potential collaboration, stuff like that. And those kind of things, I want to do that kind of stuff. And then another thing for being more creative is to make more videos. I will state one specific goal that I have for this year. At the end of every month, I want to release a kind of a quality video so I have Michael here, and he's been doing that kind of stuff whenever we need to make a video. And we typically do something that's 30 to 60 seconds long. It's very easy to make, cheap. It's very easy to market that kind of stuff on social media. You don't want like a 10-minute video on Instagram or TikTok, right? No one's gonna watch that unless you're into that long format stuff, like YouTube is long format, and obviously that works for here. You're not gonna make videos that are 10 seconds here and have that be your whole spiel here. So yeah, we've done videos in the past, creative ones that are related to the products I'm releasing, but this year is a very specific goal of making at least one like production kind of quality video, on DSLR and video editing, all that kind of stuff. We need to make one video a month for each drop we do or related to that. So for instance, if I'm releasing like a t-shirt, this is like a t-shirt design I released a while back. This could easily be, we can go out into an industrial area or the woods or something like that and just make a cool like product video showcasing the product on someone and do some edits, stuff like that. It's not really something that's like crazy complicated and hard to do. It's just something that needs to be done, because that is a very good way to market for your brand and to be more creative, get more eyes on it. One thing that's happening right now, that's a trend that you guys need to be aware of, is that marketing and social media is very geared and headed towards video content. And this has been a thing for already a few years, obviously, especially with TikTok. TikTok is outranking Google as the #1 website. So more people are going to www.tiktok.com rather than google.com, right? So make sure that's in the back of your mind and that you're kind of thinking about that, because you need to be making video content that's related to your brand. You know, it could be showcasing the products, obviously, or it could be something totally, even just reposting, let's say like you posted like a historical video or something like that, because that's what I do. That is very important to get into that zone and to do that kind of stuff. And that is definitely one of the things that I want to do to be more creative, make more videos, especially with TikTok. I've been using TikTok for I think 6 months, something like that. I've had it open, my TikTok page. Even that has been surprising. I have over 3,000 followers there, and I've been putting just very, very minimal, like almost no effort into that, like very low quality. Like even so on my Instagram, obviously I post a lot of historical, like aesthetic kind of content that's in line with my brand and my page. And on TikTok, obviously I do the same thing, but with in a video format. And a lot of times it's just a video, like a historical video. I posted a video that was, I don't know, maybe 20 seconds long, and it went to like almost 1 million views. I got like over like 900 followers just from that. So I didn't even put any effort other than putting the title and a little description, some hashtags, and posting it on my TikTok page. So that's kind of the power of video right now, and you really need to tap into that resource, because it will get you more traffic to your page, more followers, more sales, right? Just imagine doing a really fun creative video of someone wearing a t-shirt and then let's just say like skateboarding somewhere, and like it's just edited really cool. That can go a very long way. So yeah, those are just 3 kind of basic goals that I have, and in my journal where I flesh all of these out way more in their specific goals. That's what I'm doing, but I think you guys would get a lot of value in doing something like this, and also obviously going into detail about what exactly you're going to do and how you're going to do it, and that is how you're going to accomplish some great goals for yourself in 2023. Hope you guys enjoy this video. I know it's kind of long, but if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I'll try to answer them for you guys, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks.